Sorry for the delay. I shall answer the questions later. And we are left with very little time. So much has to be covered. So I may be rather flying, not even running. In the last week's meeting, we knew something about the different aspects of Ashtadash Vidyasthanas. And as we continued, I told something about the Upavedas and also the Vedangas. Just I want to continue further. And here I should confess at one point that information is, of course, one of the things which are aimed at in these meetings. But at the same time, more than the information, it is the approach to information that has become the focus of center. And in that sense, giving a perspective, right perspective to Sanatana Dharma, Indian culture, and the foundations of that is more important than mere statistical details. For example, the four Vedas almost come to 20,000 verses. Rig Veda has 10,580 mantras and then 10,028 suktas. And Yajur Veda has something like Shukla Yajur Veda 1,976 mantras, and Samveda has 1,875 mantras. Of them, 75 is only original of Samveda, and the rest 1,800 verses are taken from Rig Veda. And there are more than 3 to 7 or 8 samans to every mantra, and in that sense it is developed. And Atharva Veda has 5,987 mantras divided into 40 kandas. Of them, 1,200 mantras are taken from Rig Veda, and 80 suktas are in prose. And then Yajur Veda, Shukla Yajur Veda is verse made. It is full of verses, while Krishna Yajur Veda has both prose and verse. And the number of verses are less than the number of prose passages, and so the words are counted. So in that sense, 1,53,826 words are there, and 4,32,000 letters are present in the Yajur Veda. Like that, we have so many details, and all these numbers and all such details, they refer to the Samhitas and not of Brahmanas and Aranyakas. And the four Vedas are divided into several shakhas. I had already told Rig Veda has 21 shakhas. Shakhas means something comparable to the Patha Vedas, textual variations. As we know, the same text will be presented with some slight variations. It cannot even be called as an edition by itself. In second edition means an improvised edition, something like that. It is not that, it is Patha Veda, provincial Vedas, differences, but they are very, very minimum. I had told about that. However, in Rig Veda, we have now only two shakas, Shakala and Bashkala. We have absolutely no difference. And in Yajur Veda, main two branches are there, Shukla and Krishna. Shukla because it is completely in verse. It is in 40 adhyayas. 40 adhyayas are there. And in Krishna, we have prose and verse mixture. The combination of Rik and Yajus are there. And the other feature of Yajur Veda is the ritual manual operations. They are present in the Samhita itself. And then we have in the Shukla Yajur Veda two shakas, Kandva and Madhyandhina. And then in the Krishna Yajur Veda, we have Taittiriya Shaka, Kapisthala Shaka, and then Kata Shaka, and then Maitrayani Shaka. Totally 4 shakas are available. And thus in the Yajur Veda, we have totally 6 shakas, including both Shukla and Yajus, Shukla and Krishna schools. And in the Samveda, we have 3 schools. Jaiminiya is very, very ancient, but it has very little followers. We have most widely used Shaka, that is Kautuma, and then another minor sect is there, that is Ranayaniya. As far as my years go, Ranayaniya Shaka is the most melodious Shaka in the Samvedas. Though we had 1,000 and odd shakas in the time of Patanjali, we have only 3 shakas available now. And then in the Atharva Veda, we had earlier 9 shakas according to Patanjali. before 2200 years. But now we have left with only two shakas, Shaunakiya and Pippaladiya. But the Pippaladiya shaka is extinct. Extinct in the sense the recitation is not present now. Only we have the Shaunakiya. But we need not feel bad too much, because generally there is a notion so many shakas were there, all that is lost and done. It's very, very minor variation. And I had told about the number of repetitions seen in the Vedas. So such details are not of my prima focus. It is the other one, the approach to Vedas. I had already told in the Vedas we have the devotional hymns describing various gods. The gods are classified according to their placement, Bhusthaniya, Antarikshasthaniya and Justhaniya, like that Bhur Bhuvaswaha, the terrestrial, the aerial and the celestial, like that at the three levels we have the gods. For example, gods like Agni, Vasu, Varuna, and then Aranyani, all are present in the Bhusthana, while the Maruts, Rudras and the Parjanya, all are present in the aerial level. And in the celestial level, Dhyusthana, we have the Adityas, Indra, Prajapati, Uditi, Vushas, Ashwinis, like that. Totally we have 33 Devas, 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, 12 Adityas, coming to 31, and then Aditi and Prajapati, so 33. But there are a few more gods also and goddesses, and no god is taken to be superior, and no other god is taken to be inferior. Though we have very many hymns devoted to Indra, Agni and Vayu, these hymns are in replete. Even then, all the gods are treated equally and respectfully. And we have devotional hymns separately present for every god, exclusively present for Indra, Yama, Agni, Vaishwanara, like that. And at the same time, in one hymn itself, in one sukta itself, many gods are praised. That is called Vishvedeva Sukta. Vishvedeva means all the gods and goddesses are praised. And we have the rishis, the men and even the women. More than 44 rishikas are available, I told. And regarding the empowerment of women in the Vedic lore, I answered a question in the earlier sessions. I forgot to add two more details from the Mahabhashya of Patanjali. I told about Acharya and Upadhyaya or Upadhyayi. But Patanjali gives two more names. She who is well initiated in the Bahurucha Shakha of Rigveda is called Bahuruchi. And she who is well initiated and adept in the Kata Shakha of Yajurveda is called Kathi. Like that, these words themselves indicate that women had lot of learning in the Vedic lore too. And Lopamudra, Nodha, Lopamudra, Vishwavara, Shashwati, Ambrani, and then Urvashi. Like that, there are many Rishikas available in the Rigveda. In the Yajurveda, no name of the Rishis are available. That's why in the Yajurveda, for every mantra, there is no need to recite the names of the Rishis who saw them, and also the meter in which it is composed, and also the god to which this is attributed to. In the Rigveda and Samaveda, and of course in the Atharvaveda also, we have the Deva, Rishi, Brahmana, Deva, Rishi, Chandas combination, very, very essential. It is something like a locus. In Atharvaveda, almost all hymns are seen by Atharva Angirasa. That's why it is called Atharva Angirasa Veda. Atharva literally means Agni. The Veda of Agni, the Veda of utility, Veda of both secularism and spiritualism. And that has been given to Bhrigus and Angirasas. So, Bhrigvangirasa Veda, like that it is said. In Shukla Yajurveda, all the mantras are seen by Yajnavalkya, but they are taken, much of them have been taken from Krishna Yajurveda and Rigveda as well. And in Samaveda, again, 99% is from the Rigveda, and so the same Rishi, Devata, Chandas, it goes well. And the gods, some are heroic and some are more bent towards the morality. For example, Indra is more a heroic god. while Varuna is more committed to morality, Ritadideva, like that. And some gods are meant for warring, like the Rudras and the Maruts. They are the Antariksha Sthaniya Devatas. Generally, there is a misnomer that Sapta Maruts means 7 Maruts, but 7 into 7, 7 square Maruts. Totally 49 gods are there in the group of Maruts. They are all equated with the Rudras. And in the meanwhile, I should give one clarification. All the Pauranika Devas, the gods and goddesses present in the Puranas, they have their roots in the Vedas. Many people wrongly think that the Vedic gods are different and those of Puranic gods are entirely different. No, it is wrong. The Aditya of Veda is seen as Vishnu of Purana. And again, in the Vedas, we have Vishnu being equated with the Adityas. Among the 12 Adityas, Vishnu is the 12th and the youngest. And Maruts and Rudras, they are all equated. And we know in the Puranas, we have here and there mentioning of Hanuman becoming the incarnation of Shiva, or who is blessed by Shiva. And Hanuman's mother, Anjana, she got blessings and boon from Mahadeva, and he himself incarnated in the form of Hanuman. It is again because Hanuman is son of Vayu. And Vayu's Saptamaruts are associated with the Rudraganas. And so, Saptamaruts and Ekadasha Rudras, they are one and the same. They are often treated profusely as one and the same. And then Brahma is equated with Prajapati of the Veda, the great father, the creator. And often Vishwakarma is also treated as Brahma. So the Trimurtis of the Puranas are taken from the 3 gods. They are the Maruts or Rudras, and then the Adityas and Prajapati. That's so we have the interlinking connection. And we have lot of references to mother goddess in the Veda, Aditi. And we can see the reference to such in the folk tradition also, because Vedic tradition is essentially folk. Any cultures, any societies, most fundamental and ancient practices are folk in nature. That's how the modern anthropologists say. And Vedas are the essential folk literature of Sanskrit. Folk means generally the so-called highbrow conservatives, they ignore and they shun that is the aborigine practice. It's wrong. At the same time, the people, the modern so-called secularists, that brand, it again objects that Sanskrit tradition has no folk. No language can lose its folk roots. Well, folk in the sense, janapadeshu janajanitam yatta janapadam. That which is verily popular and present in the society, and that is called folk. And it is product of the society. More than the authorship, the anonymous nature of acts and writings, they come forward. And in that sense, we have the Yellamma of Karnataka, Andhra, or Tamil Nadu, Renuka. She is often equated with Aditi. The worship of Aditi and Yellamma, if we observe, it's a separate study by itself. We can know that. And all mother goddesses, they are attributed to Aditi. Aditi is the counterpart of Hera or Gia of Greek mythology. And this nature of Aditi is seen in Kalika or in Lalitamba or whatever forms of goddesses we have in the Puranic and Tantric lore. And then we have Lakshmi, Shri, very well represented in Rigveda. We have the Khila, Shri Sukta, and Saraswati is of course there. So the Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati representation of the Puranas are again seen in the Vedas as well. And we do have references to Ganapati, Skanda, and other things. But the features are different. But the spirit is one and the same. Especially regarding Ganapati, it is said by the anthropologists, cultural anthropologists and others, that Ganapati is a later addition, is a symbol, totem, and aboriginal groups like that. Well, Vedic clans were so. If you look at the Vedic practices, you will be knowing. And the leader of the clan used to be called Ganapati. And in the Yajurveda, it is called Brihaspati is Ganapati, and even the Rigveda we have. And that's why Vidya Ganapati, Vakpati, all these concepts in the Tantra, because of that. And Ganapati is called Indra is called Hastivarchaha, and also Brihaspati is called Hastivarchaha. He has the charisma of an elephant. And how to represent the charisma of an elephant in art? In a symbolic manner, it has to be shown with the elephant head. Generally, any virtue of it, it has to be shown predominantly in the sculptural treatises. We have the way of representing with the face. Purana, for example, Purana is personified as a parrot, a person having the parrot face. Puranas are very many, very colorful, and so are the parrots. And Puranas have voluminous structure, and parrots utter beautifully, and they repeat again and again, and repetition is lot in Puranas. All these things they naturally refer to. And Puranas are the products of Vyasa and his school. And Shuka Maharshi is one of the illustrious sons of Vyasa. All these things, they represent how the pictorial way or the iconographic way of representing the concepts went on. In that way, Ganapati is seen. And the agricultural god, Ganapati is also represented as an agricultural god because of the Bhustana. Like that, we have so much of symbolism behind one god. All that we have, even with reference to Indra, Indriyadhipati. I told earlier, at the physical level, one thing. Indra is lord of rains. Indra is the lord of showers. Indra has thunderbolt as his weapon, Vajrayudha. All at the physical level. It can be compared with the Zeus of Greek mythology, Dios or Dyav, we call in Sanskrit, means heaven, sky, and the lord of sky, and who has rainbow as the embellishment, and thunderbolt. And in the Greek mythology also, Zeus wields his weapon, the thunderbolt, the Vajra. And Indra, at the level of spirit, Adhyatma, is represented as the lord of body, lord of sense organs, Indriyadhipati Indraha. And we know in the Puranic stories, whenever a sage goes on for penance, Apsaras sent by Indra, they come and dance and try to woo him and all that. Indra has no other business than disturbing the penance of others. Has he any den in the heaven? And is he scared of this penance? And if he is sending all this, means he is sending callgirls, like that. Many objections and ridiculing have been done, but they haven't understood. Purana beautifully represents at the physical level the spiritual truths at the physical and the level of faith. Apsaras coming and dancing, indicating the attractions and repulsions felt by the sense organs, the temptations which are felt by the sense organs. The sense organs subjected to such temptation is figuratively represented, is beautifully represented as the arrival of Apsaras and trying to woo the saint. If they are unable to disturb him, then he is one. So, Indriya Vijaya is seen as the beautiful message behind such things. And of course, we know among the 6 enemies, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsarya, Kama is the most fundamental one. Kama is desire. When desire is fulfilled, then it becomes Mada, pride. I fulfilled my desire. When I am not fulfilled my desire, I generally get disturbed, and the disturbance of a powerful person will become Krodha, wrath. Of a weak person will become frustration and jealousy. So it is Matsarya. And having achieved my desire, having fulfilled my desire, I become very proud and try to possess the thing forever. So the possessiveness is called Lobha. And then passion for all these things is called Moha. And so Kama, fulfilled, leading to Mada, Moha, Lobha, and unfulfilled, leading to Matsarya and Krodha. Like that, the Arishad Varga has its root in Kama, and that's why the predominant way of bringing the Apsaras and trying to woo all these things go on in the Puranas. Like that, Indra is at the spiritual level the Indriyadhipati. In the Upanishads itself, we can as well see this. And Varuna is Ritadhipati, the cosmic order is in his folds. And Varuna has the counterpart Mitra. Mitra is in the Dhyusthana at the celestial level, Varuna at the terrestrial level, Bhusthana. And Mitra Varuna are the couple gods, the Yugala Devatas. Mitra Varuna, Dyava Prithvi, Agni Shoma, like that Vrishakapi, Haravishnu, Vrishakapi, like that we have the combinations of two gods. They come together and go. And Agni Aditya. And we have the three-tiered combination Agni, Vayu and Aditya, Bhustaniya, Agni, Antarikshasthaniya, Vayu and Dusthaniya, Aditya. They go together. And it is said the same light and luster, it is carried out something like a baton. In the daylight, in the daytime, Aditya will take that from fire, Agni. And during the nights, Agni will be getting back that. Means during the night we can see the luster and the brilliance of Agni, but not in daylight. In nights, of course, we cannot see sun. And that has been very beautifully represented as they changing over the shifts. Like that we have many symbolic, figurative, spiritual representation of the gods. And Usha is supposed to be the most beautiful damsel of the celestial world. And she dances in the sky in the early hours of the day, along with before the arrival of sun. She appears in the sky like the reddish color of dawn and she again reappears in the evening as the dusk. That again nature. Of course, nature is represented so beautifully, and Ashwini Devatas, they are represented as the celestial doctors, and they are craftsmen too, and they are very much interested in uplifting the people from difficulties, rescuing them, whether it is a bird or a sailor or whosoever, whatsoever, all are protected. Like that, we have many such adventures and exploits of Ashwins. All this has a wonderful mythology by itself, and that has been developed in Puranas differently. And we have many hymns. The hymns by themselves may not have much variety in meaning, because what else we can request the gods? Please save us, protect us, feed us, offer money to us, give us wealth like cows, the cattle, the horses, the chariots, all such. So, if we look at the variety of the devotional hymns, we may not see much. In spite of that, the mind behind that, and the yearning behind that, and then the freshness of expression behind that, it's remarkable. And we have many spiritual and special hymns also. This Purusha Sukta of Rigveda, for that matter, or the Alpastava or the Nasadiya Sukta of again Rigveda. I shall give out the list of some major suktas which are very, very important from the viewpoint of the lasting philosophy. Here we have the Vishvedeva Sukta, and then the Nasadiya Sukta, Purusha Sukta, and then the Vishwakarma Sukta, Hiranyagarbha Sukta, and then Asyavamiya Sukta. These are some of the major suktas of the Rigveda, which deal with the creation, and then spirit, and then heaven, all these things. And then we have the conversation and the stories and such things. We have the Urvashi Pururava Sukta, and then the Yamayami Sukta, Sarama Sukta, and then Nadi Sukta, and something connected with the history, the Kurushravana Sukta, Trasadasya Sukta, Vasishtha Sukta. These are some of the things. And then some of the hymns connected with the day-to-day affairs of life. For example, the gambling, the evil effects of gambling, Aksha Sukta is there. And then Anna Prashamsa Sukta, Dana Prashamsa Sukta, that is there. And then Mrityu Sukta, the last rites, how they are performed. And then Yama Sukta, again, how Yama first he died and he became the lord of the other world, like that. And then Raja Sukta, about king. And Vivaha Sukta, the Surya Devi and Soma Raja, they got married. And the Sukta, it has almost 48 verses, 48 mantras. And now you can as well connect beautifully, because in this Vivaha Sukta, all the mantras are seen and they are created by Hanuman. And so the folk songs of Hanuman became the mantras and the total procedure of Indian marriage, Hindu marriage. In that way, you can call. Very beautiful sukta, very, very lively sukta. And then we have the Sangramikani, connected with war and heroism, and suktas on Shraddha, about devotion and dedication and walk. Wonderful suktas on speech are available. And then the suktas on Vishnu. Vishnu is Surya, one form of Surya, and Soma, the life-saving elixir, and Marut suktas, Mitra suktas, and Ratri, about darkness and night, and how to get protected in the night, during the nights, and then the Rudra suktas, and we have the combination of all gods, Vishvedeva suktas are there. Many beautiful suktas on Ashwins are there. Indra has been praised maximum, and then we have Agni. The very first opening sukta of Rigveda is Agni sukta, and then Prajapati sukta, that is the creator sukta, and then we have Brihaspati, the lord of speech, and then we have something like ridiculing also. The Vedic priests, without knowing the meaning, they recite the mantras like the frogs which quack during the rainy season. All such wonderful suktas are available. And then we have the Brahmana Bhaga of the Rigveda. Brahmana means that ritual manual, elaborations, how these mantras can be applied into ritual. The Yajna Tantra. There we have the Aitareya Brahmana and Kaushitaki Brahmana. These are the two Brahmanas available in the Rigveda. And then we have the Aitareya Aranyaka. Means the same rituals, they are more condensed. They become more inwardly in nature. So the Bahiryaga will become Antaryaga, like that. In the Yajna system, we have elaboration. I shall go to that in detail later. How we can go inwardly. For example, we need animals to sacrifice. That is all detailed in the Brahmanas. But in the Aranyakas, how to come out of that non-vegetarian practice and go to the vegetarian one. Instead of aja, instead of a goat, we can't use dhanya, we can't use grains, seasoned 6 months or 9 months like that, or else use the ghee, the clarified butter, something like that. We have such ways, and even trying to realize one's own self at the level of Yajamana. And this is complete in the Upanishads. Rigveda's Upanishad is Aitareya Upanishad. Mainly it is the Aitareya Upanishad. And then we come to the Krishna Yajurveda. In Krishna Yajurveda, we have the Taittiriya Shakha and very predominant Shakha. Though we have Kapisthala and then Katha and even the Maitrayani Samhitas, not many followers are there. So the recitation is very well preserved in the Taittiriya Shakha. Perhaps in the whole gamut of Vedic literature, I feel that the Krishna Yajurveda chanting is the most powerful and engrossing. Rigveda chanting is rather soft. So also is the Shukla Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. But they go with an elongation and not that enchanting in nature. The majesty, the might and the supremacy of chanting can all be felt in Krishna Yajurveda. Not that I am supposed to follow Krishna Yajurveda. By initiation, my Veda is Krishna. In spite of that, my first love is Rigveda and Atharvaveda. I got initiated in Samaveda too. All the 4 Vedas, I know the Swara patterns and I have learnt them with the Bhashyas and I have studied. In spite of that, the recitation of Yajurveda is the most pleasing one. The real elevation of Veda Ghosha can be seen there. And for that matter, I think perhaps with this reason only, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upanishad, all the 4 parts of the Veda are well restored with Swaras only in the Yajushakha. That is in the Krishna Yajushakha, but not in the other Shakhas. Of course, we have Shukla Yajurveda, but Shukla Yajurveda, the Aranyaka portion and the Upanishad portions, they don't have 3 Swaras, only 2 Swaras are there. Only Udatta and Anudatta. So, the completeness cannot be felt. But in Taittiriya, starting from Ishetva, Orjetva that is the first mantra of the Samhita, to the Tasyevam Vidisho Atma Yajamana Shraddha Patni, the last mantra of the Aranyaka Upanishad, that is Mahanarayana Upanishad. The whole of Krishna Yajurveda has a wonderful tonal richness. There we have the 7 kandas, 7 chapters are there, and they mainly deal with the rituals. Many mantras, 50% of the Yajurveda is complete with Rigveda mantras. The gods are the same, the ritual is the same, but emphasis is more on rituals. In the very opening kanda, we have the Darshapurnamasa. Darshapurnamasa is the prototype of all the yajnas and how to perform that. Starting from that up to Ashwamedha, we have many yagas, how they have to be performed and in which way the things should go on and which are the mantras they have to be used, like that. And in the 4th chapter, we have the famed Rudradhyaya, Rudra Namaka Chamaka. Now we are using for Abhisheka of Shiva. But in the Vedic practice, it is meant for Somayaga. While placing the fire altar, the bricks, they go up to 1800. But the primordial model is of 360 bricks, representing the 360 lunar days in the lunar calendar. Then we have the 5-layered altar, representing the 5 bhutas and also representing the 5 seasons. The last 2 seasons, Hemanta and Shishira, are taken as one unit. Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha. Vasanta, spring. Grishma, summer. And Varsha, the rainy season. And Sharat is autumn. And lastly, we have the winter, that is Hemanta, Shishira. So, the space and energy represented by the 5 elements. Space, energy, matter. Akasha is for space and Agni is for energy. And matter in 3 states, solid, liquid and gas, is Prithvi, Jala, Vayu. So matter, space, energy, that becoming the 5 layer. And the other concept is about the 5 seasons, that is time. So here that is the unified equation of matter and energy with time and space. That is the fire altar. You would have seen, if anybody has seen the emblem of NIAS, National Institute of Advanced Studies, you will be knowing something like a bird flying. The fire altar is there. That is called Garuda Chiti or Shena Chit. And that contains 360 bricks. In some precisions it is 500 also. And totally it coming to 1800 or sometimes 10,800 also. It can be scaled up or scaled down. But the standard is 360, representing the year. Why I am saying this? So the rituals trying to combine space and time, with that intention they went on. And in the Yajurveda, while placing the bricks in the altar, these mantras from the Rudra, they are recited. And at the fag end of placing the final brick, that is called Charameshti, Charameshtika Nyasa. There we have the Rudradhyaya being recited. And on the bricks itself we offer the oblation. So it's a beautiful ritual. One has to feel it. It's something like an art. One has to enjoy it like a theatrical practice or music. Then only will be knowing the beauties and implications. And of course we have Kshatriya Yagas. 4 Kshatriya Yagas are there. And they are also dealt with in detail in the Yajurveda. Because all community have rituals, but mainly the Brahma and Kshatriya. The rest will support. Brahma Yagas are too many, I shall come to it later. But Kshatriya Yagas are 4 in nature. And how they are associated with their lifestyle, that you have to observe. Sautramani, Vajapeya, Rajasuya and Ashwamedha, these are the 4 Kshatriya Yagas. Sautramani is for getting the friends. To get the friends, you should have some party. And that's why in Sautramani Yaga, as a Yaganga, a liquor party will go on. Madhyapana is Sautramunyanga. Means to get Alice, one should have a party, a bottle party. So a boozing party is arranged. That is Yaganga. And then that is for getting the friends, Mitra Prapti. And to train the army, we have the Vajpaya. Some people say it is the other way. In Vajpaya, we have Madhyapana. In Sautramani, we have the chariot race. The chariot race is the next one. Chariot race is arranged. All the heroes are selected and they are classified according to Rathika, Maharathika, Atirathika, Mahottama Rathika. Like that, these categories are there. For that, we need training the army. And then creating an emperor, producing an emperor, Rajanam Sute iti Rajasuya, creating an emperor. That is called Rajasuya. In Rajasuya, after winning the enemies, a king is upgraded to the level of an emperor. As it happened in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira performed that and became an emperor. Though he had earlier Indraprastha, he became Rajadhiraja. Earlier he was Raja, Samrat. But some people may not be good with him. They may not be coming to fight with army. They have to be won by other tricks also. For the dice play used to be employed. And that's why in Rajasuya, dice play is Yajnanga. In 2 innings it will go on, 10 throws each. And Yudhishthira didn't play that. And why he went to Duryodhana's invitation, it is said by some people that because he wanted to complete the formalities of Yaga, and that's why he went, and in 2 innings Pandavas lost. In first innings they lost everything, and even Draupadi was attempted for derobing. And then in the next innings they had to lose everything and go for Vanavasa. So that is Rajasuya. And then Ashwamedha is for Mahasamrat. It's a great emperor, expanding the horizons of his kingdom, expanding the frontiers of the kingdom for that. Rajya Vistara. Raja Nirmana, it is Rajasuya. Rajya Vistara is Ashwamedha. A horse will go all around, and wherever it goes, it has to be checked by the enemies. If they are checking, they have to be faced, and they have to be conquered, they have to be vanquished. We know that story well known. Rama, Pandavas and others, they performed that. And there the Yaganga is Mrigaya and Mansa Bhakshana, going on hunting and then indulging in meat eating. So the Kshatriyas, 4 vices, they are associated with the Yagangas. It's a wonderful construction because none can completely withdraw from the vices. It's very difficult. They can only be restricted. They can only be controlled. Especially a warring class, it needs alcohol. It has to live on meat eating, and naturally they will be having the competitive spirit of gambling, the chariot race. Or else we have the gambling in the form of dice playing. These features are there, and they are given suitable status as Yaganga. Means they too have a role to play. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Dyutas Chalayatamaham. Among the wicked things, I am gambling. He has represented himself in that. What it means, that which cannot be wiped off has to be given a due place and restricted there itself. If you try to deroot it, it will become a plague by itself. To avoid that we do. And we see similar practices even today. I don't know how many people have come across that. For example, next day of Yugadi is called Varsha Toduku in Kannada. And in many places also, the second day, that is the Chaitra Shuddha Pratipat, that is Yugadi, Chaitra Shuddha Dvitiya, the second day of Yugadi, is celebrated as a gambler's day. As a ritual, one and all should play gambling. They should at least place for betting 1 rupee, or even those days 10 paise or something like that. Means one day meant for gambling. means our society is so open, is so pluralistic in nature, all these things are well accommodated. So, this is how in the Krishna Yajurveda we have the Kshatriya and Brahma yagas. And then we have the Sama. In the Sama Veda, all the mantras are from Rig Veda except 75, and all are used in Soma Yaga. I shall come to the details of the yagas later. In the Yajurveda, we have the Brahmana, Taittiriya Brahmana for the Krishna Yajurveda. And then we have the Shatapada Brahmana in the Shukla Yajurveda. Only 2 Brahmanas available. The most voluminous Brahmana, the biggest Brahmana is the Shatapada Brahmana, having 100 chapters. It's an encyclopedic work in nature. And then we have the Aranyakas, Taittiriya Aranyaka and Brihadaranyaka. In the Shukla Yajurveda, it is Brihadaranyaka that itself has become an Upanishad. And coming to Samaveda, we have many Brahmanas. Shadvimsha Brahmana, Panchavimsha Brahmana, Tandya Mahabrahmana, Jaiminiya Brahmana, Vamsha Brahmana, like that. We have totally 7 Brahmanas and no Aranyaka. And Upanishads we have. And in the Yajurveda, we have many Upanishads. Though Yajurveda is predominantly a ritualistic Veda, we have many Upanishads hailing from Yajurveda. The famed Taittiriya Upanishad is there, Mahanarayana Upanishad is there, Shvetashvatara Upanishad is there, the Katha Upanishad we have, and then we have the Shukla Yajurvedic Upanishads, Ishavasya Upanishad and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Maitreya Upanishad. Totally we have not less than 7 Upanishads. In my view, totally 14 Upanishads are very, very important. Though 10 Upanishads are called principal Upanishads, and Shankara, Madhva, they have written commentaries, and even Rangaramanuja on these 10 Upanishads. But 14 Upanishads are very, very important. Isha of Shukla Yajurveda, Kena of Samaveda, and then Katha of Katashaka Krishna Yajurveda, Prashna of Atharvaveda, Mundaka of Atharva Veda, Mandukya of Atharva Veda, Aitareya of Shukla of Rigveda, Taittiriya of Taittiriya Shaka Krishna Yajurveda, Chandogya of Samaveda, Brihadaranyaka of Shukla Yajurveda. These are the 10 principal Upanishads. But Shvetashvatara Upanishad of Yajurveda, it is one more 11th Upanishad. And then Mahanarayana Upanishad of again Yajurveda. And then Maitreya Upanishad of Shukla Yajurveda. And then the Kaushitaki Upanishad of Rigveda. Totally 14. They are most important. Then coming to the Samaveda Upanishad, that is the Chandogya Upanishad and Kena Upanishad. These are the 2 Upanishads, main Upanishads of Samaveda. Chandogya is a very voluminous Upanishad. Coming to the Atharva Veda, in the Atharva Veda we have many beautiful things. I think Atharva Veda is one of the wonderful creations of the Indian world. In the Atharva Veda, we have a lot of details regarding life and God's spirit. Both materialistic and secular pursuits are all present here. I think in that sense, Atharva Veda has no parallel. Atharva Veda has been divided into 40 kandas, 40 sections, and it has all the devatas of the Rig Veda and few more, like the serpents are there. In the Rig Veda, we do have serpents, and we have Vastoshpati, or the god of the householder, and Indra is referred to as Vastoshpati. And we have some suktas specially devoted to medicine called Bhaishajyani, medication, and some suktas for Abhichara, black magic, and some suktas for Brahma Tattva, that is for the spirit. We have some suktas like Skambha Sukta and then Uchishta Sukta, like that. And then we have the suktas connected with Rajnikani, about the administration, kingdom, and other things. Of them, most important suktas are of Prithvi. Prithvi Sukta is one of the longest suktas in the whole range of Vedic literature. It's a wonderful poetry eulogizing the Mother Earth. And then we have the suktas on Chandrama, moon, and then on Rina Nirmoksha, getting cleared of the debts, and then very wonderful and most profound suktas on time, Kala Suktas, and then Kama Sukta on desire, and then Kamagni Samishamana Suktas. It is putting off the fire of desire. How to put off the fire of desire? That sukta is there. And then Prana Sukta is there. Suktas on Brahmachari are there. And then the Panchamahayaga Suktas are there. Medha Sukta, even in the Yajurveda it is present. And then Rajabhisheka Sukta, how a king has to be coronated, that is there. And then the Suktas on rains are present. Vrishti Sukta. Parjanya Suktas are very many in the Rigveda also. Like that, these are some of the valuable suktas present in the Atharva Veda. And then we have a list of suktas like Uchishta Sukta. Uchishta means literally it is the left out. In food, what else it is, whatever left out in the plate, that is called Uchishta. But Uchishta also means Utishishta, the remainder at the higher level. At the topmost level, whatever remains, that is called Uchishta. The highest truth is Uchishta, means none could consume that. None can completely internalize, it is yet beyond. Something like Atyatishta Dashangulam of Rigveda, that one. And then the Skambha Sukta. Skambha also means Skambha, Stambha. That is the pillar. The great truth is the pillar that supports the heaven, like that. It is the representation of Brahma of the Vedas, Upanishads. So these are some of the features. And in the Atharva Veda, we don't have any Aranyaka, only one Brahmana is there, Gopata Brahmana. And for Atharva Veda, we have three Upanishads, Prashnopanishad, Mundakopanishad and Mandukyopanishad. Now, coming to some of the details of the Yajna, because I think Yajna details are of most importance, and it's a curious thing by itself. Totally we have Brahmayagas are 7, 7 and 7. 3 steps, 7 multiplied by 3 means 21. 21 Prakriti Yagas are there. These are the basis. First group is called Paka Yajna, and the next one is called Havir Yajna, and the third one is Soma Yajna. They are also called as Paka Samstha, Havis Samstha and Soma Samstha. All the household rituals and the community rituals, they come into this heading. In the Paka Yajna, we have the householder performing day-to-day rituals in fire. A householder after marriage, of course, then only becomes a householder. He has to sustain that fire. He has to protect the sacred fire in which he offered the oblations during the marriage, the Vivahagni, and that is called as the Aupasanagni. Every day, morning and every evening, he has to offer the offering into the fire, and that is called Upasana. And then during the lunchtime, that is in the afternoon, he has to offer special offering in terms of rice, and that is called Vaishwadeva. Vishvedeva means all the gods. To propitiate every god, what is that he is going to offer? It comes closely to the Deva Yajna. Deva Yajna is equated to the Vaishwadeva. I told about Panchamaha Yajnas, that is the Vaishwadeva. And then during the full moon and new moon days, he has to offer for his forefathers, belated forefathers, that is called Pitri Yajna, and that one is called Parvana and Ashtaka. And then during the month of Shravana, Savan, what he does, that ritual is called Shravana Karma or Shravana Karma. And then during the autumn season, it is in the Hemanta season, Margashirsha Masa, there what ritual goes on is called Agrahayani. That is the harvest season. And during the spring, Chaitra Masa, Chaitri is one more. Totally coming to 7. That is Upasana, Vaishwadeva, Parvana, Ashtaka, Shravana, and then Agrahayana and Chaitri or Ashveji. And then Havis Samsthas, there he will be getting initiated into 3 fires. Earlier, only 1 fire, Ekagni Kanda, that is Grihya Agni, the marriage fire. And later onwards, before his hairs getting grey, before he is losing his teeth, and before looking at the face of the grandson, he has to get initiated into this. That's how the tradition goes on. So, this is of 7 tiers, Havis Samstha. Havis means clarified butter that will be offered. And in the Paka Yajnas, it is called Charu, the cooked rice that will be offered. And there we have Agnihotra, morning and evening, just at the time of sunrise and sunset, he has to offer that. He has to give offerings to the 3 fires, Garhapatya, Ahavaniya and Dakshina. That is called Agnihotra. And during the full moon and new moon days, he has to carry out special rituals called Darsha Purnamasa. Darsha Purnamasa is something like the prototype model of all the sacrifices. And then during the harvest season, that is the Margashirsha Masa, has to carry out one ritual called Agrahayaneshti. And then Pinda Pitra Yajna, that is connected with the Amavasya rituals. And Chaturmasya, during the completion of every 4 months quarter unit, he has to perform one. There we have the Chaitri, Ashvaji, Shravani and Agrahayani. And then Niruda Pashubandha. Here starts the animal sacrifice. And people have many questions. I have told, I think, animal sacrifice was there, is there, and that will be there. Meat eating was there, beef eating was there, meat eating is there. Overcoming that is always good. Manu says clearly, na mamsa bhakshane doshaha, na madhye na cha maithune. There is nothing big wrong about a person consuming alcohol or consuming meat or indulging Amara's play, but nivrittistu mahaphala, overcoming that is always better. So this is the nature of society. Vegetarian food is always advocated and endorsed in our tradition, but non-vegetarianism is not shunned as many people think. Because Sanatana Dharma is perhaps the only religion, only way of life which has given accommodation to maximum variety, and plurality in the real sense is found in Sanatana Dharma. So, we have in the Vedic sacrifices, people who want to perform accordingly with the animal sacrifice, they can as well go. And if the animal is missing or if they don't want, they can have alternatives also. For example, Pishta Pashu, preparing images of animals with flour and then offering them as bali. And also using the same clarified butter, ajya itself, as offering, animal offering, something like that. We have many. And we have pro and against arguments also. Madhvacharya advocated Pishta Pashu to a great extent. And for that, Pishta Pashvalambanam, Sadhuva, like that, many works have come. And even today in Shrauta Yaga, we have mainly the Pashu Yaga, Pashuka Yaga. Means animals are used. But our so-called leftists and secular brigands, they go against all these things. But without non-vegetarian, they can't even breathe. Only when a sacrifice goes on, they oppose. Only when animals are being slaughtered in a Mariamman festival or Karumariamman festival or some other festivals, Bhairava festivals, they oppose. Only a vegetarian has a right to oppose any sort of animal sacrifice. No other person. And 99% of the secularists, 99% of so-called the intellects, especially of Karnataka, as I know personally many of them, they are non-vegetarians 365 days. 7 into 24. Such people, they coming and opposing, there is no meaning, it utter hypocrisy. But as Buddha said in the Kutadanta Sutta, as many people have told, it's always better to overcome that. And we know non-vegetarianism contributes more to entropy. Last time I told about Punya and Papa in terms of thermodynamics. Then the Sautramani. Sautramani is one among the Kshatra Yagas. In Brahma Yaga, without alcohol, it will be performed. Very dry. And you see, our people are so conversant and sensible. A soldier needs wine, soldier needs liquor, even to fight, even to forget the pain. A soldier should not be educated too much. If education is dominating his spirit of warring, if it comes in the way, it is no education. Whatever education Krishna gave to Arjuna is suitable for everybody, even to a soldier. Likewise, a soldier, a warring person should have separate way of food and all. His approach itself is different. And that's why in our tradition, we used to supply liquor in the war, and that used to be called as Veerapana. And even the elephants used to be fed with alcohol. We have many references to that in our kavyas. Why I am saying, Sanatana Dharmic practices, at least in their primary sources, in the purest form, we find lot of sensibility and accommodation. Without looking the variety of world, they never codified anything. If not, no such rules, no such structures of the society would have been restored for our time. That itself is a reflection. And then the Somayagas. In the Somayagas, the Soma creeper is taken and that is crushed, that is soaked in water, and then it is crushed and squeezed and filtered, and the filter cloth is called Vasativani, and then the container is called Drona Kalasha, and then various chamasas will be present, spoons. Through that it will be offered into the fire. And Soma is not a very, very intoxicating liquor-like thing. It's only a stimulant, something comparable to coffee, tea, and slight nicotine, tobacco, something like that. Soma has an inspiring quality, and when it gets fermented, it becomes liquor. And in Vedas, we do have references. Indra, having drunk the fermented Soma, he started behaving topsy-turvy. All that is present. But fresh Soma has to be used. It should not be kept too longer. And whatever tar-like thing which will be formed a layer on the Soma, such Soma should be kept aside. It should not be used in Yajna. Like that, we have many rules and regulations regarding that. The Soma creeper, supposed to be a herb-like thing, a shrub-like thing, which grows in the mountain ranges of Himalaya, especially Mujavat mountain. From there it is brought. Many debates are there. So much of research has gone in. But Dr. B.G.L. Swami, a well-known botanist and son of our D.V. Gundappa, he opines that it is very close to a plant like the ganja plant, Soma. Something. In light quantities, it's a very good stimulant. And in the yajnas, the same thing happens. The Soma is taken, it is soaked in water, it is squeezed and filtered, and that is mixed with lot of water, and that is called apyayana. And to it, milk is also mixed, and only few spoons of that are taken. So you can imagine now. Why I am saying all these details as a part of discussion, for the simple reason that many people wrongly think that Soma is comparable to a very, very hard drink. No, it is not that. I have tasted the Soma creeper, but Soma creeper is no way giving any kick. There, Agnishtoma is the first one, and then Atyagnishtoma is the second ritual, and Vuktya is the third one, and Shodashi is the fourth one, and then fifth one is Vajapeya. In Brahma, it is sans racing of the chariots, and Atiratra, that which carried out overnight, and then Aptoryama, the final one. Like that, totally we have 7. And then we have so many combinations also. These are Prakriti Yagas, Vikriti Yagas. Vikriti means no distortion. It is modification, permutation and combination. We have hundreds and hundreds of yagas. As we have simple vratas becoming so big and so elaborate, and almost more than 700 vratas and festivals are there, I told last time. Why all this needed? People need variety. Is it not? If not, one dosa would have been sufficient. Why we have so many varieties of dosas?